Today on episode 140 of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, TCF Sports Minute, new segment Hall of Fame, This or That All-Star Game edition, and the TCF NOT top four of our cookout menu. Let's roll. Hello and welcome to episode 140 of Typical Chicago Fans, brought to you by our incredible sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook or Instagram. Check us out there as well. Give those pages a like. For all of our content in video form, you can find us on YouTube. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans. Hit that red subscribe button for everything we do in video form. And we have a new food review coming up here in the next couple days. So make sure you check that out. Wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, whatever it is, we are there. Make sure you subscribe there. Give us a rating if you can. You can follow me on Twitter at BoomyTCF, but make sure to follow the guys that I am joined with tonight. That is, of course, Zach at ZLiliaTCF up there, and Maddie at Schools_01. Gentlemen, we are a little over the halfway point of summer, but I'll be honest, guys, it has been a very, I guess, what's the best word? Like a moderate summer. It hasn't been, too brutal.
It could be worse. We've had a lot cooler days than I have expected. And then what Boomy said, we have a food review on the way. I'll be downloading it. Let's say it'll be out the night this podcast comes out. So,
I'd like to hear that.
So we will have that on the YouTube page. Boomy has, what is it, Boomy?
We did Japanese Kit Kats. We found a thing on Amazon that had, I think it was like 10 different Kit Kats. And feel free to be critical. This is only, I think, the second or third video I've ever edited. So if it's terrible, let me know. Something I'm just going to teach myself.
Stop that, Boomy. It was great.
Hey, it came together better than I thought it was gonna, so I can't complain too much. But yeah, so make sure you check that out. Let us know what you guys think.
But Maddie, how's the weather your way? You mean like
45 minutes?
45 minutes away.
About the same as yours. Hot as shit for a while. No rain for a while. Yeah, I mean we're about hole 12 of the summer at this point, so it's like
good way of saying it.
A little bit of room left to play, but we're definitely past the turn. So
we're halfway past the turn.
Yeah, hole 12's about accurate.
We got football coming though soon. That slows everything down.
But slow down. I don't wish the summer away just yet. All right, we still got plenty.
Don't forget football starts. Football starts.
That's coming to you from a teacher.
That's true.
Football starts in the summer. I'm not expediting anything. I'm just expediting football.
Fair enough. And Zach, to your point,
will be here before you know it.
Yeah, that's true. That's good thinking. It is right around the corner.
What were you gonna say, Boomy?
I was just saying it's also, I don't go back to work till the end of August, so I'm trying to savor every last bit of it. So
I bet you are. I bet you are, Boomy.
Oh yeah,
we're happy for you.
Yeah, good for you.
Well, there's a reason that me and Zach have been to 5 minor league games in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, we both got our Kenosha Kingfish jerseys on tonight.
Kingfish, biggest fans. Shout out Parker.
Yeah, shout out Parker. But boys, let's jump into it. As always, we've got sinkers and floaters, and I'm going to go a little semi-different on my sinkers and floaters, but they're obviously still sticking to the theme. But these are also fun facts, or maybe not so much fun facts, depending on who you're a fan of when I get into these. But my first sinker is time zones, and that is because it came out this week that the University of Texas at El Paso, UTEP, for those of you that don't know, they've been playing football since 1914, over 100 years, and they have never won a game in the Eastern time zone of the United States. Exactly 108 seasons to be exact, and they have never won a single game in the Eastern time zone. And it's not like, okay, they're in Texas, that's the central time zone. So it's not like it's that crazy to think they've played a ton of games.
Where did
in
you
the
see
Eastern
this
Conference.
stat at?
This was on, I think, Barstool Sportsbook Twitter page put it out.
That's just like the most random stat.
Yeah, so I'll just remember like you guys said, football season's right around the corner. When we do get to college football season, go ahead and just make sure you include UTEP on the road in the Eastern Time Zone. Bet money line the school that they are playing. So keep that in mind.
I will definitely be doing that. Boys, my sinker is it's Mike Trout's back. I don't know if you guys have seen the reports, but apparently he has like a rare back condition or something going on that is going to affect him the rest of his career.
Yeah,
that is just. I feel like Mike Trout is supposed to be the best player of all time, but is just the most unlucky player of all time.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to I just have a bad disc in my back and it just flares up, and this
Bad
is
what?
nothing. What I have
what?
That was a good one, Maddie. Bad disc, DISC. For those of you keeping track at home, but it flares up and but back pain. I don't wish that on anybody. I can't imagine it being a rare condition.
Yeah, a rare condition that's going to affect him the rest of his career. It's like it's like that hinders the rest of his career.
Yeah, that's scary for a guy who's arguably one of the best hitters, any of us have ever seen.
He's one of the best hitters, one of the best players of all time, but has been injured, bad teams, just unlucky, and now this. It's just like it sucks.
Yeah, that's tough for a guy who could easily be the face of baseball or should be.
Could you imagine being the fan of a team that has him and Shohei and they don't make the playoffs ever? I'd be fucking
Anthony Rendon.
I'd be livid.
Well, don't make the playoffs, and then you're pretty much told that your best player.
I mean, you got two.
He has something wrong with him the rest of his career.
You got two baseball unicorns there, and it's like he just can't do anything. It's nuts.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's got to be tough. We complain about our team a lot, but could be worse.
Yeah. All right, boys. My sinker is judgy ass people, and mine comes from a little personal incident happened last night. Yeah. So it was Maggie's birthday yesterday. So
happy birthday, belated birthday, Maggie.
Yes. So she says whatever she wanted to do. I said, yeah, whatever. What do you want to do? She goes, just ask Owen. Owen says he wants to go to the go-kart track. So, all right, we go to the go-kart track.
That's a smart kid.
There's one in Yorkville. That's by the water park on Route 47. Busy road. A lot of people going north, south, both directions on there. Super busy traffic, especially rush hour time and after work. Well, we start heading over there. It's 6:30 or so. We grab something to eat at this little food truck. Shout out the Mexican Fantastico Grill food truck there, by the way. If you're in that area, stop there. The food is fantastic. Free advertising. I don't care. Stop there. Anyway, we're eating there. My kid goes, Dad, I got to pee. There's not really a building close by. So it's all right, I start getting up out of my seat. We're going to walk over to the building over at the fun center, whatever the hell it's called. And before I can even turn around, he's got his shorts down to his ankles, bare ass facing Route 47, and he's just peeing everywhere, right in the middle of this, right off the edge of this parking lot, and into the grass at least. So good work on his part. But I mean, he's just got everything out, shorts down to his ankles, and I'm getting these looks from people like I am an absolute goddamn murderer, and it was just like, what do you want me to do? It's a little kid. He's 4. He just doesn't know where to.
Leave me alone. It's
yeah.
Serious.
Am I the best parent in the world? No. Did I commit a crime? I don't think so. Did he commit a crime?
The child.
Did he commit a crime? Possibly at different ages, it might be a crime.
Yeah.
But for now, as a 4-year-old,
give
the kid some slack. There was people at the fun center looking over, pointing at him and stuff, and it's like, what the hell's going on here? Come on, man. Yeah. So it's like, this is a little kid. Give me a break. It's not like he's some grown man. It was not like it was me.
World.
So
it's a free world.
Let the kid be. And so I was just like, judgy people, get out of here.
What I hate is somebody that judges the child.
Yeah. Well, no, they were judging. They were definitely judging me, and then I gave them the old.
Well, what I'm saying is,
I gave them a little hat-tip wave, dude. You know, it was awesome. Fuck them.
How old's your child?
4.
4. Give me a.
He's just learning how to pee. Come on.
Give me a laugh. You got to give a laugh.
I'm just glad he's not. I'm just glad he's not pissing his pants. You know, what do you want?
Yeah.
Kid had to go. The bladder infection.
But for real though, it's just like get off your high horse. Come on.
Yeah, we also have a water, issue in this country. The kid's just trying to save some water. All right.
Yeah. Free agricultural enhancement.
That grass should be happy.
Yeah, it's nitrogen.
Yeah, we have a drought going on here. What are we talking about? This kid's saving the world.
And again, Mexican food truck there, dynamite food, by the way. So I'm just
I'll write that one down. Love a good food truck.
Route 47 between Jericho and 30. It's fantastic.
That's what I like to hear. Moving on to our floaters, another weird fact. Floater is small ball. It should probably make a comeback. And that is because last week there was a stat that came out that Joey Gallo, who has had over 2,200 at-bats in his career, has 2 sac flies. 2. Joey Gallo, a guy that's been an all-star, home run derby, arguably one of the best teams in baseball. This man is 2 sac flies in 2,200 at-bats.
He's real bad though now. He fell in the world.
He stinks right now for the Yankees, but
he's perfect for that stadium too. Being a left-handed
power hitter. Team. That's my thing. How do you stink on a good team?
Yeah, I don't know. Bright lights.
Makes no sense.
Bright lights in New York City. I don't know.
Yeah, enjoys New York City too much. So maybe old small ball needs to come back for Joey Gallo, learn how to hit a sac slider, bud.
Very true. Boys, my floater is Ian Happ. Our boy Ian Happ, we sent him a DM from the TCF Twitter account saying we appreciate him, whatever. Sent us one literally 25 minutes back saying we thank you, whatever. Thanks for it means a lot to me. That's the type of person that Chicago deserves. But guess what? It's not going to get because of the Ricketts. And I think a guy like Ian Happ, he embodies Chicago. He loves Chicago. He wants to be here. Wilson Contreras, he also wants to be here. And we're going to get more into it here with the Cubs or whatever. But I think the Cubs are just doing this so wrong right now. I think that they can build around these superstars, but they're choosing not to because of maybe money or whatever. I think these guys, Chicago loves these guys. But my floater is Ian Happ. He's class till the end. Whoever he goes to, we're going to cheer for. The TCF podcast will be cheering for that team because we appreciate he gave us the time or whatever to come on our podcast. But it just sucks. 2 years in a row, we're going through the same shit again with getting ready to get players that we like a lot. But I guess that's sports.
To add to that, Zach, it's a guy who we've seen go from the bottom of his career bottoms, right? Getting sent down to Iowa
within a year and a half.
Yeah, and it's
a guy who went from going to Iowa to the All-Star game, and we've loved it. We love Ian Happ. He came on the podcast. We went to the Connect Roasters. He's connected to the Connect Roasters. It's probably the player that we feel the closest to because we've actually spoken to him and he's given us the time. And this organization is just whatever, we're going to trade him. Why would we give a guy who has worked his ass off to become a good player? But we're going to have to trade him because I don't really understand what's going on with this Cubs team.
Yeah, it's frustrating to watch right now.
But yeah, we'll get more into it in the TCF Sports Update.
Definitely.
All right, boys. My floater, I got 2 of them. One, nobody won the Powerball last night. So that thing rolls over to Friday night. We're going over $1 billion this time now. So it's $1 billion jackpot in the Powerball. So that's obviously that needs to be mine, and that's just the way it's going to need to be. So I just need to win that, and then everybody else, I'll be good to society after that, and I'll do what I can to help people.
Hopefully, you remember us after you win it.
If I will remember you for a short time.
Zach, we're gonna get the do. This number has been disconnected.
Yeah, there'll be a
real
bag drop.
quick.
There'll be a bag drop, and then I'll be like a fucking just like a poof in the wind, dude. Just gone.
Here's
just
a milli. I'll see you later.
There's a bag, and I will see you guys later. Have fun. But no, like that would be obviously everyone thinks about what they do with that kind of money. So that's one thing I'm looking forward to. Another floater I have is UFC 277 this weekend. Ooh. It's a little unheralded card, a little bit, but it's got Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena rematch for the title. Kai Kara France and Brandon Moreno for an interim title at bantamweight. That's a flyweight. Excuse me. So it's going to be a couple title fights on the deck. Magomed Ankalaev is another up and comer too who's fighting. So a bunch of good fights. Pay-per-views are usually always good cards. In a couple months, we got a monster coming in October of 22. There's a full slate of fights already lined up that are going to be absolute dynamite in Abu Dhabi in October. So good, should be a good stretch of fights, good stretch of pay-per-views for the UFC. You guys still watching a lot of the fights too?
Yeah, unfortunately we had a golf outing last weekend, but we watched the one from London with Paddy DeBatty, Meatball Molly. That was unbelievable.
Yeah, they saved the card.
We also
it was a rough card for the most part.
We got the last Stylebender fight too.
Yeah. We usually get like one a month, and a lot of times, Maddie, I'll be very honest, what we do is we wait for your recommendations, and then we decide between recording the podcast and the weekend if we're going to get that fight.
If I see, I follow UFC or whatever, if I know like 2 or 3 faces on there, it's like, okay, I'm going to buy that fight because
I like both dogs,
awesome.
the main and the co-main too. I like Kai Kara France. Can't even say his name. Kai Kara France. And I think he was like plus 190. And I think Juliana Pena, she's like plus 225. Yeah, Kai Kara France is 180. Pena plus 235 on DraftKings right now. So I like both dogs in the co-main and the main. So if you want a little money line action, you have some dogs to play. But I don't know. I think it should be a good couple fights there too. And the rest of the main card should bring some bangers.
Well, that's a great way to jump right into sports because we're headed to the TCF Sports Minute. As Zach alluded to earlier, the Cubs are sitting at 40-57. When this episode comes out, they will be in San Francisco for a weekend series. Sunday Night Baseball, my favorite summer tradition. They will be on Sunday Night Baseball.
Awesome when you have Sunday Night Baseball when you just trade away all of your players.
Yeah, that's never fun. Right now, 14 games out of first place. But like I said, before we get into the Wilson Contreras, Ian Happ, trade deadline stuff. I do want to bring up the Cubs had 20 draft picks in this year's draft, and of those 20 draft picks, they took 17 pitchers. So it's kind of the opposite of what the ideology used to be, right? It used to be, pay for your pitching later on, develop the hitters. It's almost completely shifted in the last 8 years to where they, when you draft Chris Bryant and you trade for a young Anthony Rizzo and sign a Wilson Contreras, Ian Happ, and all that good stuff. Where now they're drafting, a very, very, very high volume of pitching. It's just kind of interesting to see how the changeover from Theo to Jed, and this is one that really jumped out to me. I like the couple picks the Cubs made and early, when I was following along the first and second rounder, took a high school shortstop, I believe in the 3rd or 4th round, might even have been a little bit later, but it's definitely just different to see, as we continue to trudge through this rebuild, how different things look from what they did in the past.
Fellas, do you think there is any chance that the Cubs make a trade for Juan Soto?
No
No?
chance. I
No
don't think
chance.
that. No, not
I've seen like weird reports about it because they could offer a lot, but what do the Nationals want to do with any of their players?
I mean, it would. That's
what
what's
I
crazy.
think.
It would have to be like,
Yeah,
a Contreras Hap, and then you're talking like Braylon Marquez, Brennan Davis, and don't get me wrong.
I don't think the problem with Brennan Davis is he's like untradeable right now because
he's hurt.
Yeah, he's in the middle of a back surgery.
Yeah. I mean, even guys, going a little bit farther down the line, Ed Howard, Pete Crow, Ed Howard's hurt and he's done for the year. And that's what's kind of been like the worst part about this whole, bad stretch of the Cubs season is that like there's really, other than Pete Crow Armstrong, like the big names that you're expecting to hear about in the minor leagues are all hurt. So,
and also the problem is every team you want to trade to is not trying to give up their best players in that moment. They're trying to give you the farm league. They're trying to give you the player from the minors because they're trying to, because it's the Mets, it's the Yankees, it's the Padres. That's who want these players, and you're going to get nothing from them for the next 4 years.
Well, not even that. Like Wilson is in the last year of his deal. Right? If the Cubs would have traded Wilson last year, you could have got a hell of a lot more because now you only have control of him for 2 months. And you're just not going to get, as much back now. And it's kind of the same. I mean, Ian Happ is in his, arbitration year.
That's the thing though with Happ. And I know we talked about, and Zach hit home, how much we appreciate Happ coming on and giving us, as much time as he did. It was a memorable day for all of us. I know that. But let's be real. Like Ian Happ has turned himself into an absolute value, like a monster value. His contract is low. He's got another year of control, and he
deserves to be in a good team.
And he's hitting the absolute piss out of the ball. So let's not act. You know what I mean? So it's like the Cubs are foolish at this point. They're a shit team with him. And it's like they're foolish for not entertaining what he can bring back.
I ask you guys a real
He's
question?
Been that good.
I understand.
He's going to bring back a haul.
Whatever the money is, why don't the Cubs re-sign players? It's the second year in a row where we're at the trade deadline. We're watching all of our favorite players leave the field. They're crying because they wish they could stay with the Cubs, but they can't because we have to trade them. What do the Cubs have to do to be the team that buys instead of sells?
They got on it too late. I mean, frankly, that's the problem. They let everybody get to the point of no return, basically. So by the time you've lost, by the time you
get to the point where he's just too good for you.
Right. That's not even. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's basically what it is. I mean,
if he's too good for you, and you just didn't offer him enough money
because you didn't get the deals done with your other stars, and it rolls over. So then the team starts to tank. So then at that point, then you're leaving it up to Contreras and Happ to carry the entire team. And two guys can't carry an MLB team at this point. Look at the Dodgers, dude. They got 1 through 9 in the lineup is absolute studs. The Cubs have two.
They're willing to spend money,
and the Cubs have 2 studs.
Not.
So when you have 2 studs going against 9 studs, you're gonna fucking lose. That's just the way it is.
Oh yeah.
So if you're not gonna,
the thing about it is that they're not willing to spend the money to keep. I understand.
Right.
Say what you want about Chris Bryant, Javi Baez, Anthony Rizzo. If you just keep one of those 3 guys, you could keep building with this team.
And you could, I know it's like kind of a good lead into this to the White Sox who we're going to talk about here, but you look at what they did with their young stars coming up. They locked them up early. You looked at they signed Eloy early to a long-term deal. They signed Robert to a long-term deal. Moncada hasn't worked out well. They signed him to a long-term deal. They got these guys in those positions where it was like, we want to build around you. We need to keep you. We need to keep you at this price so we can build around the rest of you. And the Cubs just didn't have the fucking foresight to do that because they were thinking the Ricketts family was going to spend, and they spent on everything else, not the Cubs.
Okay, I'll. This is the last thing I'm going to say about the Cubs. I'm sorry if I'm going on a rant, but if you want to see, so the White Sox did that. They got all the signings. The Cubs did. Waited 14 days, made Chris Bryant go down the minors because of a year or something. That's the difference.
Yeah,
That's the
but
way you
everybody
treat.
does that.
I understand that, but that's just the way they treat their players.
Yeah, but
Like,
every organization does that, though. So,
but then make it right in a way.
The Sox and
They
the Padres.
never
The
made it
Sox,
right.
the Padres, and the
He
Mets
won
didn't
He
do it,
won
though.
Rookie of the Year. He won MVP. You have to like it. I'm not saying that he deserves the world, but give him a little more money after he wins MVP.
Mets had Pete Alonso up from the start. The Padres had Tatis up right from the start. You know, so like
But
the
you're
Sox
right,
had both.
Boomy. A lot of teams do that.
A lot of
But what I'm
teams do
saying
it,
is,
but I mean,
after
I
he
think there.
succeeds, give him a little bit of money. Give him some fun.
I
Give
do.
him something.
I do think there's like a little bit of a, hey, we want to do what's right. You're ready to be here. Let's be here. Let's do the right thing. And I think there is something to that. Well, now whether players are going to give that back later, maybe not. But I think it just sets off on a bad foot when you're just
it's just
blatantly
a bad foot.
abusing like the rules to benefit the organization. I think it just sets things off on a wrong foot.
yeah, and all of it boils down to, billionaire owners crying poor. That's
right.
That I mean,
Which
you'll
we're to this day not happy about.
Yeah, that is something that will always grind my gears. It's just as simple as that. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. A lot of people think that Ian Happ and Wilson Contreras have played their last games at Wrigley Field. So we're gonna find out.
I don't know if you guys watched that last game. I think I cried about 4 times. Jesus, they had standing ovations. They had at the end of the game, Ian Happ. He put his hand on his heart and he gave it to the crowd. It's like, I don't know if you guys are trying to make me cry, but you did a pretty good job at it.
Yeah, for sure. On the other side of town, the White Sox fall to 49-49 with a loss on Wednesday.
It's my favorite team in baseball.
They were finally above 500 and then fall back below it.
I love this team so much. I love this team.
This team is so confusing to me.
So I love this team. It's the best.
It makes no sense. This team should be 15 games above 500.
They have so much talent, and
they have so much talent, but it seems like between the coaching staff and
the coaching staff, the players, the front office, and the fans, all 4 sides of this hate each other. It's awesome. Yeah. It's fucking awesome, dude. The players hate the owners. The owners hate
Cub fans who are struggling.
It's just fucking. I love it. It's just like it's a civil war over there. It's awesome.
This team still has a very good chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah, this team's here 3 games out of first place. I still think the White Sox right now. I think they're going to win the division.
I would take it. Whatever the odds are, the White Sox are going to make the playoffs, I think.
And I don't know about you guys. Did you guys listen to Liam Hendricks on Starting 9? He basically said
he's amazing.
I like Liam Hendricks a lot. And he even said in that interview that, he's like,
they're ready to go.
Thought we were just going to come walking out of this division with, no real competition, and they just underperformed. And obviously, I think a lot of that's lip service. He doesn't want to come out on a podcast and say, Tony La Russa is the reason we're 3 games under 500. But like you guys said, it's a combination of a lot of things here, and it's Tony La Russa's boneheaded decisions and these guys committing, just terrible, dumb errors and terrible timely hitting. There's so many aspects to it, but like you said, all of these things we're saying, you would think we were talking about a team that was, 20 games under 500. They're, right at 500 and they're 3 games out.
He says baseball is not easy. Baseball is very hard. Baseball is a very hard sport. The Cubs figured that out in 2017, the year after winning the World Series. We thought we had the world. We thought, we're the best team in the world. We're going to win this. No, baseball's very hard. And the White Sox are figuring out that baseball is hard. And they have the players, they have the pitching, but they have to just win the games. And that's not easy. And what Liam Hendricks kind of saying is like, they just got to They got to bring that attitude. And I think they have the attitude, but it's can they win the games?
Yeah.
But
Sox
what I want to
are
say is
plus
Liam
110
Hendricks,
to win their division, just so you know. Plus 110.
Liam
to win
Hendricks
their
is a fucking crazy person. And that is what I want in my closer, is an absolute crazy person.
And also with, we've talked about the trade deadline a lot, and a lot of the things that, I see or that I'm reading is that, the White Sox need
apparently
left-handed bats.
Givens is on the trade block to White Sox.
Well, and the big ones I saw, like some of the names I saw come up with them needing lefties, Joey Gallo, Josh Bell, and then the third one I had written down was Andrew Benintendi, who literally, as we're starting to record this podcast, just got traded to the Yankees. So, it's going to be interesting to see if they can go out and get something.
Unbelievable what the Yankees are doing. But can I tell you something? I'm on edge right now because we love our boy Ian Happ. Every breaking news ESPN alert I get, I'm like, oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
Somebody's gone. Either Wilson or him are gone. Because we'll get out of the White Sox or whatever, but I am just the second year in a row where it's just disappointment at the end of July.
I feel like we just healed ourselves a little bit from the way the last trade deadline, and now we're just reopening that scar.
I take the last 2 weeks of July off of work. I have the last 2 weeks off, and then I start August where my team just has nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
I almost feel like you need to rearrange that next year so you're busy and at work, so you don't have to keep, seeing this on Twitter and just keep your mind off of it next year.
Hey,
not that we're going to have anybody to trade, but
I was going to say, but first of all, we're going to have no way to trade. Second of all, vacation has to drop at the same time every year. But
just something to bring up with upper management.
But hey, guess what? The Bears are going to win the Super Bowl, so we're ready for
that. Speaking of that, the Bears that are not going to win the Super Bowl have opened up training camp. But how are you guys feeling going into the season? I mean, I know the big story right now is
I feel good. I think Justin Fields is going to be okay. Maddie, you can either disagree or agree with me, but he's either going to be a bust this year or he's going to be the best we had. I think it's the year where you have to just take off. Like, if he doesn't have a good year this year, it's just like, oh, what are we working with here? But
I don't know that he's going to have a good year because of the talent around him. But I think you want to see certain things.
The talent around him not good.
You just want to at least see certain things where he looks like an actual professional quarterback.
That's what I mean. I'm not saying if he has a horrible year, that means he didn't show us anything.
You don't want regression. Let's just put it that way.
And from a team that has never really had a quarterback.
Things are well. Roquan's holding out. So the best player on defense isn't there.
But Robert Quinn's back.
For now. We'll see.
He said he's okay with it.
Yeah, they're gonna trade him at some point, hopefully, if they can get something for him. But I don't know. It's one of those things. They're going to have a ton of cap space next year. They're going to have finally some draft capital again. So next year's a year where you really want to see a lot of improvement.
Guess what? We don't have a quarterback who probably should be in jail.
You're an idiot.
He looks like a lunatic right now.
He looks dude. That's a great look. He looks exactly like
he
Cam
looks like a guy who is
You're both morons.
Fugitive. That guy who he dressed up like is in jail.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Con Air?
He's in jail though. He gets arrested.
Watch the movie.
Who wants to ironically look like?
But guess what else, Boomy? His family loves him.
I don't care if his family likes him or not.
But his family loves him. What I'm saying is he's dressing up as a phony. He's a phony.
Get weird tattoos. I don't care. Just be good at football, and he is.
That tattoo is wild.
You're both idiots. If Justin Fields had that same tattoo, you'd both be kissing his ass. So you're both morons.
No, I would not. I'd be like, hey, dude, that's a weird tattoo.
No,
man.
you would not. You would both.
I'm
Oh,
a
Justin
realist.
Fields, that's not a cool
Us
tattoo.
Bears fans are
Guarantee you
realists.
both. Guarantee you both would be kissing his ass.
I don't kiss anyone's ass for a tattoo, buddy.
You're both dummies.
Unless his name is like Michael Jordan. Does Michael Jordan ever have a tattoo?
That's a good question.
I don't think so. I don't think he did.
Now we're gonna have to look that up. That's a good. I have no idea.
No,
I don't think he. I don't think he had a tattoo.
It says Michael Jordan has a small tattoo above his left breast. It's an Omega horseshoe, and it was drawn on as a way of pledging his commitment to the Black fraternity Omega Psi Phi.
That sounds like a lie.
That says what
this
Google.
Is straight from the Wikipedia horse, isn't it?
No, this is sportscasting.com.
Oh, that sounds legit.
Sounds legit. Let's move
on.
I
don't see.
Hey, Boomy, can we move on to the best team in Chicago?
Yeah, we can definitely move on to the best team in Chicago. The Chicago Sky, 21-7, best record in the WNBA.
Dude, they are so good. Me and Boomy are going to see a game.
Yeah,
we've got we went to that place, right?
Yeah, Wintrust Arena. You've been there like 3 times.
First of all, amazing food across the way. It's just a fun place to go to, and the Sky are so good.
Yeah, like I said, best record in the game. They're in first place in the East. I think they're one game up on Las Vegas. They did get beat by Las Vegas on Tuesday night, but
hey, who cares?
What'd you say?
I said, who cares?
Yeah, exactly. They still got 7 regular season games ahead of them. They're going to be the 1 seed coming out of the East, most likely.
Wait,
and I don't know about you guys. I'm thinking
WNBA games are there?
That's a good question.
I don't know. Not a lot of games.
No, I mean they've been playing since. Oh, they play a 36-game schedule.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean it's only like a 3.5-month season before the playoff starts. I think it starts like right when the NBA is ending up.
We should go, me and Boomy are going to go to some playoff games.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. But yeah, make sure you check out. I think a lot of the games are on the Marquee Network. So
yes,
I watched it the other day.
The Marquee Network is they work with the Sky. That's where I watch a lot of the games at.
Definitely. But before we move on to our next segment, we have to give a huge thank you to our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. They have the best coffee around that you can possibly find. They work with our guy, Dom Frederick, and, of course, our guy, Ian Happ. So you know the stuff's good. Those guys would not drink bad coffee. Make sure you check out their website, connectroasters.com. Follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters. You can find their product at different places in the city, Foxtrot Market, Dom's, and of course at the Obvious Shirts store. But yeah, make sure you go check out Connect Roasters and get some of their delicious coffee. All right, boys, we got a new segment. This one is called Hall of Fame. So we're going to put ourselves in the shoes of we get to allow one person in each league that should be in that league's Hall of Fame or that sports Hall of Fame. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started with Major League Baseball.
I'll go first. Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds has to be in the Hall of Fame. He is the greatest player of all time. Whatever you want to say, steroids, I don't give a fuck. A lot of people were taking steroids at that time, but not a lot of people were getting walk with the bases loaded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things. It's like, I understand. Say what you want to say, but who was just allowed in the Hall of Fame? David Ortiz, linked to steroids. What's the difference between him and Barry Bonds? Oh, because Barry Bonds is better? Like, what do you... I'm just confused by the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm with you. I completely agree. I think Barry Bonds is the best baseball player I've seen in my lifetime.
I understand David Ortiz is loved. He's on TV now. Say what you want to say. Well, I don't know. But he's exactly the same link to steroids as Barry Bonds, but Barry Bonds isn't like in the spotlight, doesn't really care about it, whatever, but isn't in the Hall of Fame. I just don't understand that.
I'm with you. I like that pick a lot. Maddie, any thoughts on Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, best player ever.
Yeah.
I
Best player
don't
ever.
think there's any question. That's my
Best
opinion.
player ever. If you take steroids
don't
away,
really
I
ever
still think he's
waver
one
off
of the
it.
best player ever.
He was outstanding.
Maddie, who you got?
Probably the next most talented player in my opinion. Maybe the most just in from the 5-tool perspective. I'm gonna go A-Rod. People forget how good fucking A-Rod was with the Mariners and especially with Texas.
Unreal. He's the first guy to get $200 million contracts.
Unbelievable how good he was, how young, how good he was at that age. He was he hit like 42 homers his first full season. With the Mariners, that guy was a monster. He was so good for such a long time. So he's kind of a clown a little bit. I don't mind him personally, but obviously he catches the steroid drip too. So, but A-Rod's my guy in baseball.
Yeah, I like that.
Exactly the same. How is David Ortiz in over him?
Yeah, I mean, because people like him because he's funny.
He likes the writers like him, whatever.
Yeah.
Whoever's voting for this.
He's nice. He gives good sound bites. Makes people.
So, Matt, that's
easier.
a good choice. I've got A-Rod's baseball reference page pulled up, and his 10 most similar hitters. Of those 10, 8 of them are in the Hall of Fame. The other 2 are Albert Pujols, who will be in the Hall of Fame, and Barry Bonds. Every single other one, Willie Mays, Ken Griffey Jr., Frank Robinson, Hank Aaron, Rafael Palmeiro, so 7. Mel Ott, Dave Winfield, and Chipper Jones, 7 of the 10 most comparable players to his career are all in the Hall of Fame.
It's like the game of baseball wants to keep out the best.
A-Rod was a freak too defensively, especially
unbelievable.
Young. When he was young, he was so athletic. He had such a good arm. He was because he's tall too. So he was like a rangy ass shortstop. He was unbelievable to watch.
Boom! Before we move on, I just want to say one thing. What these guys who are voting or not voting these players in are the same exact people who made money on these guys when they were hitting 60, 50, however many home runs a year. And now they're going to go, oh, they use steroids? That's not allowed in the Hall of Fame. That shouldn't be allowed in the Hall of Fame. But you know what? This is the same Baseball Hall of Fame that just inducted Buck O'Neil. They just inducted Buck O'Neil, who is one of the greatest people of all time.
Yep, can't argue with you there, man. I'll go with
it makes no sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Who do you go with? I want to know who Boomy wants to go with.
This one's easy to me. It's Pete Rose. Pete Rose is arguably the best hitter of all time.
One thing about Pete Rose. Pete Rose is not remorseful. I don't think he didn't care. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing because I would have probably been the same way. But I feel like baseball took it as like a slight because
we're gonna act like betting on baseball is one thing, but Ty Cobb killed a fucking guy. He killed a man.
See, that's the problem with the Baseball Hall of Fame. Also,
I mean, let's fucking be real here. At some point, this is a sport that kept out black people for a third of its history.
Very true.
So we're gonna hold the moral high ground at that point. Now it's like I don't know, whatever. Tell the story of baseball. Let people in. People gambled.
This guy had 4,256 hits.
People have gambled on the game.
In no way wanted to lose a game for himself.
People have gambled on the game. People have used steroids. People have used other cheating methods. People have stolen signs. Tell the story of the game. That's what the job of the Hall of Fame is.
Well, the problem is he's not remorseful. He still gambles, this and that. Like it's just baseball has a problem in itself, anyways.
This is a wild stat, though. So Pete Rose played from 1963 until 1986. How many home runs do you guys think Pete Rose hit of his 4,256 hits? How many home runs do you think he had?
184.
160.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of home runs. He was
Yeah,
on base. He got on base.
he was a kind of slap hitter for a while.
And here's another guy. I love looking at player comps. And his player comps, 9 of the 10 of his player comps are all Hall of Famers. The only one is number 10, Johnny Damon.
Johnny Damon, Johnny Damon, but he has 4,000 hits. Give me a break.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, let's move to the next one, the NBA Hall of Fame.
I'm going to use a current player who most likely will not make the Hall of Fame. Well, it's basketball, so he probably will. Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose has to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the youngest MVP of all time. He was a very good college player, very good high school player. I feel like that's combined the Hall of Fame, but he's also made a career out of something that people probably thought wasn't going to happen. He had a bunch of injuries at the start, and he's still playing to this day. Like, I think he had some ankle injuries this last season, but I think Derrick Rose should be in the Hall of Fame.
Like you said, he probably will at some point because of that, youngest MVP.
But it's also
that he
baseball. It's also basketball. I mean,
yeah. Maddie, who you got?
I'm gonna go. Why don't you go first? I'm debating two still.
I'll take one, and I can't believe this guy wasn't in just the way he played in the 90s and late 80s. Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp averaged almost 15 and 8 a game. Really
That's
was
so
a part
true.
of. Yeah, and just like listen, we want to talk about not great people, like we did with baseball, but I don't really like. That's not. I'm voting just on statistics. I mean, like I said, 15
The
and 8.
Hall of Fames are full of bad people, Boomy.
Yeah. Oh, we could do this with every sport. 6-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA second team. I mean, this guy was a menace in the early
He never
90s.
made the NBA Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I guess his numbers are just, and he never had the title, he never got the championship to go with it. But, for a guy that.
It's the same as Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman has, 2 or 3 championships tied to his name. That's what brings those kind of decent players to the forefront in the Hall of Fame voting. But I and also top maybe 3 jerseys of all time.
Yeah, that's true.
That Sonic's Kemp jersey is amazing.
Absolutely. And go ahead, Matt, if you got one. I've got a kind of nominee.
Yeah, Vince Carter. He's still playing technically, but
no, I think he'll be in.
He will be, but for me, being a Carolina fan, I was 13 when he went there as a freshman, so kind of got to see his entire career, and now he's still playing.
He played
into his 40s in the NBA. Yeah, and so for me, seeing his entire career progression, how he went from just he was an athletic absolute freak in college. It was awesome. My favorite player to watch. Still have his jersey from when I was in high school. Fucking Vince Carter. So yeah, it's Carolina jersey. So yeah, Vince Carter will be in the Hall of Fame. Should be in the Hall of Fame.
Revolutionized. I mean, and made
outside of Jordan, he's my favorite player ever in the sport.
Yeah. That's completely fair. My honorable mention that I was going to throw out here, and this because I was just between these two, guy I haven't, Chauncey Billups isn't in the NBA Hall of Fame yet. Chauncey Billups averaged 15, 3, and 6, NBA champion, NBA Finals MVP.
Can I ask you guys, do you think a guy like Joakim Noah won 2 NCAA championships? He was voted probably 3rd or 4th one year in the MVP voting.
No.
Electric career. No. I'm just saying, with the NBA, the Hall of Fame isn't just the NBA Hall of Fame. It's everything. He won back-to-back NCAA championships in college. And then
he averaged more rebounds than points.
That's fine. I'm not saying that's not bad. I'm just saying, dude, he he had like a year where he was third or fourth in voting in MVP, which is just unbelievable because it was a year Derrick Rose was hurt, unfortunately.
When I
And
think of Hall of Fame, I don't think of Joakim Noah. I think like he's right. He's like in that tier below for me. But I think it's not. I don't mean that to like rip on him and say his career like he's not a good player. I just don't think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he's like he was
I think there's some
approaching.
Hall of Famers that are definitely haven't won what Joakim's won.
I mean, and I'm looking at his reference page here. I mean, he really had 2, 4.
I mean, I literally
6,
have his poster right
8.
here next, like a
Yeah.
picture, signed picture next to me. That's how much I like.
Whatever you guys want to say, I think he's a Hall of Famer.
8 real seasons of productivity is going to hurt that. I mean, he only played 12 seasons, so
He won back-to-back national championships. Like that's everything. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is baseball Hall of Fame. The baseball Hall of Fame is only your baseball career, your Major League Baseball career.
yeah.
All the other ones are. But basketball Hall of Fame is basketball. It's your high school career, NBA career, and college career. Like I think what he has done in his college, like everything, he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think he deserves a little more credit. I don't disagree with you there. Let's go ahead and move on to the one I don't know if this one's trickiest. The NFL. Guys who should be in the NFL Hall of Fame.
I'm going to go with the popular vote. It's Steve McMichael. Steve McMichael, he was a great player. I understand. I'm going to go with the – I mean, I know he's very sick, but he was an amazing player. He was very good. I think, unfortunately, it's going to take like he's not gonna be here when he honestly gets into the Hall of Fame, which is sad. But I think he was very good at what he did, and I think mine is Stephen Michael.
Matty?
From a talent perspective, from a societal impact on the legend that he was, injury was cut his career short. But Bo Jackson,
amazing.
If he didn't have his career cut short from that brutal hip injury, that guy was he was an absolute menace as a running back.
People don't realize that the injury that Bo Jackson had was because he was so fast that when he was running, that they pulled his leg and they pulled it out of socket because he was running so fast.
Yeah, he was an absolute monster. People don't realize
what the freak of nature Bo Jackson really was.
Yep.
I agree. I love that pick, Matty. I'm going to go with one. I'm going to give you guys somebody's stats here real quick. And then I'm going to go tell you who my real pick is. This one is probably one that's on the top of a lot of lists. Let's see, 14 seasons, 211 games, 1,070 receptions, 14,345 yards. This is a guy that's on a lot of the lists I saw, and that's Reggie Wayne. And I don't disagree that Reggie Wayne should be in, but I want to talk about someone who's a little bit more underappreciated than Reggie Wayne, and that is Torrey Holt. Okay, Torrey Holt played 11 seasons.
Ravens? Okay? A lot of it the Ravens.
Torrey Holt? No, Rams.
Oh, Rams, Torrey Holt.
Yes.
Okay.
So Torrey Holt played only 173 games, quite a bit less. Had 920 receptions and 13,382 yards in a smaller sample. 11 seasons compared to 14 and about 50 less games. And to only have, a couple hundred yards less. Torrey Holt on those, greatest show on turf teams, and then the years following it when they were very, very good in the early 2000s was an absolute stud. In 2000, he had 1,600 yards. In 2003, he almost had 1,700 yards.
He caught everything too.
Yes, and it felt like it didn't matter if it was Kurt Warner or Mark Bulger, slinging and Kurt Warner's a great quarterback. Mark Bulger, a very average quarterback. You could just throw it out there and Torrey Holt was going to catch it. So that's who I'm going to
Good
go with.
nickname too. Big play. Big play.
Yeah,
Great
it's
nickname.
true. You got to respect a good nickname like that. So let's finish things off. We got the NHL Hall of Fame. Maddie, I know you were ready to get us started here.
I'm going homer pick. I'm going Jeremy Roenick. Great Hawk, great, like an unbelievable first couple of years in the NHL. He was kind of like a two-way banger. Would pound people, would score goals, would set people up. Had a couple 100-point seasons early on in his career. Kind of never really hit that plateau again, but I think it's probably some of it is because his body took such a beating too, because he was a very physical player. But he was awesome when he was really going at it. So, and he was like the first popular Hawk when I was a kid. He was kind of like the dude for a while.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. Like you said, it could be one of those homer picks, but it felt like for a long time, like he was always one of those guys in those early NHL games that I used to play. On
he was
PlayStation
great in
1.
video games. He'd smash people and score goals in the video games. It's great.
Yep, absolutely. Zach, do you have one ready?
I have Andrew Shaw. Andrew Shaw, he won the 2013, 2015 championship with the Chicago Blackhawks. He was a guy who was willing to do anything for this team. I don't know. I don't know a lot of hockey. I only know the Blackhawks, but I think Andrew Shaw deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know how the Hall of Fame really works for the NHL, but he was just awesome, and he was willing to do whatever it took.
Yeah, I agree. Just kind
I'm
of a
probably
great guy.
wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess Maddie would be the better one to ask. I don't know how stringent the NHL, Hall of Fame is, and guys like that.
No idea. Me personally would. Here's what I'm going to put it. Do I think Andrew Shaw is a Hall of Fame hockey player? No. Do I think Andrew Shaw is one of those guys who will probably be forever remembered as a legend for Hawks fans? Absolutely. So I think there's the Hockey Hall of Fame, and then there's the the dude just fucking grinded out and the fans absolutely fucking loved him Hall of Fame. And he's definitely in that. And every organization's got a handful of guys, and he's right near the top of the list for Hawks fans, in my opinion, at least in the last 15 years, that's for sure.
Definitely. I'm going to go with a name I found on a list that really jumped out to me. One of the first hockey names I remember, Keith Tkachuk. And I believe we've talked about him in the past. I believe he's got some family members.
Hall of Fame dad, too. He's got a bunch of kids in the NHL now that are awesome.
Yeah. So it says here, scored over 500 goals in his career. He is he ranks 68th all time in career points, 73rd in points per game, 79th in points shares. The problem is he never made a cup final or won an individual trophy, was voted to the second all-star team. That's just a name I remember. I remember Keith Tkachuk being really, really good when I first started getting into hockey, and 500 goals. I mean, I know it probably doesn't scream like a ton, but a guy who's 68th on the list. And the other one I was going to bring up, Matt, I don't remember him at all. It would be Curtis Joseph, Cujo. That was another one of the first names I remember back in my early days of getting into hockey. So those are my two there, but I would say Tkachuk would be first.
Tkachuk definitely, at least in the American hockey. I mean, he's a stud. Cujo was very good. John Van Beesbrook was very good goalie too. That's not in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good picks.
Well, let us know who we missed. Who would you put in each league's Hall of Fame if you were given the shot? Let's go ahead and move to our next segment, and that is this or that. We just had the MLB All-Star Game last week, so we're going to do some head-to-head picks on different All-Star contests that go on in all of the different sports. So we'll start off here, boys. First one, the NBA Slam Dunk Contest versus the Major League Baseball Home Run Derby. Which one are you picking, Zach?
Home Run Derby, easy. The NBA dunk contest stinks. It stinks. If we could get some of the big time players to do it. Be awesome. But I think the MLB Home Run Derby, it delivers. I know we are lucky enough to have been at one, but I think it's so much fun. It's the best part of baseball, like 100 times.
Yeah. Yeah, literally the best part of the game, back to back to back, right after each other.
Back.
Maddie, which one you got?
Yeah, I got Derby too.
Yep, I'm going Derby as well. I think Zach made a good point. I think if the NBA, there's so much potential in the slam dunk contest because,
But none of the big time players do it.
Right. And going back to, a guy Maddie talked about, with Vince Carter back, and like that was like he really kind of put it on the map for guys like us, guys our age. So I'm going to go home run derby as well. Let's go to the next one. The NHL slap shot speed competition versus the NBA 3-point contest. I believe they just get a radar gun out and find out who has the fastest slap shot.
Let's go 3-point contest because, I mean, that's just so much fun. I mean, there's a lot to it. I understand they're hitting the puck fast, but I would like to see a 3-point contest more.
Maddie?
I go 3-point contest, but only under the old traditional rules where it was 4 regular balls and a money ball, not all the other bullshit.
Larry Bird style.
Give me the four regular balls and the 2-point money ball, and it's a 30-point fucking round, and be done with it. Come on.
Yep, I'm with you. I like the slap shot competition, but I think
it's fine. I mean, it is what it is.
All right.
My dumb caveman brain's just like, oh, that was really fast. That was pretty sweet. That kind of excites me, but I do enjoy the 3-point contest. I like 3-point contest more than I like the slam dunk. I'm easy to please. The NFL Pro Bowl skills competitions versus the NHL shootout. I believe they just take, a goalie and a scorer, go NFL. At it. Maddie,
that's fun.
Shootout's great. I like the shootout.
I'm shootout. I think the Pro Bowl
that skill stuff is pretty much that's pretty fun.
I don't think they're trying.
Nah.
Well, no one's trying.
They jumped over a fucking inflatable thing and caught a football. Big deal.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Give me mano, fucking Patrick Kane.
Whatever.
Vasilevsky.
I'm with you, Maddie. That stuff's fun to watch. How many different moves he could make. I love that kind of stuff. So, last 2 questions, guys. Which league has the best all-star game, first of all?
Major League Baseball. I don't think there's a question.
I'm just talking the game.
I'm going to say Major League Baseball because they do it the best.
NBA is my favorite. I love the NBA.
When you have a fucking get to a final number as your
yes. The Elam ending. Every game should have an Elam ending.
Oh, you are such a dork. Do you even know what that's called? Get out of here. Let's play the sport. Play the sport the way.
Man, you want to know something? I wish I could have been to a MLB All-Star game.
Yeah, get out of here.
I should have been at one.
Should have taken a little things into your own hands then.
Yeah. Oh, wait.
All right. So the last question is then, what is the worst All-Star game?
NFL.
NFL for sure. Pro Bowl stinks.
I mean, the Pro Bowl should be a thing where you're voted in, and then go play some games or whatever. But like, football is a sport where we're not going to play hard. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know what the fix is if you do a flag. I don't know. It's terrible, but
not even that. It's just don't do anything. Don't do anything.
Yeah.
Why do people? You don't need to be extra hitting each other.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Because my thing is just by the time you get to the game, you have a quarterback who's probably the third choice. You have a wide receiver who's the third choice. It's like one of those things. I don't want to play. I'm in the Super Bowl. This and that. It's like this. The Pro Bowl is it's always lost luster.
Yeah, not a fan. But guys, let's move on. Let's wrap things up as always. And the last episode we did a TCF top 4 of cookout menu items. So of course we now have to do the TCF not top 4 of cookout menu items. We've got 4 picks. So we're going to take 1 meat, 1 side, 1 drink, and 1 yard game, drinking game. Does anybody want to go first?
I'll go first. I'm gonna go yard game. I'm gonna go spike ball. Because I like spike ball. I think it's a fun game. But if you're playing that thing at a cookout, I'm losing my breath. I'm tired. Like that game makes you sweat. So I'm gonna say I like spike ball. I'm gonna say I like spike ball, not a cookout. If I want to play spike ball, maybe like I'd say Boomy, come over on a Monday night. Let's get a little good sweat in. But if I'm drunk, I don't want to play spike ball.
Yeah, that's fair. Matt, do you want to go second or do you want the wrap around?
I'll take the wrap.
All right.
You get 2 picks.
I'll go side here, and this might be a hot take. I think I picked in my draft, or in my thing I wanted draft, was potato salad. The thing I don't want, and I don't know why, it's pasta salad. I don't know why.
Fucker.
I don't know why.
I was going to take that here on the turn.
So you're just saying like regular pasta salad?
Sucks.
I don't know. I don't.
No,
agree.
you're right. You're right. Because I like the ones you can get from the grocery store, like the Instabake ones. But like, I feel like every time somebody makes it for like a cookout, what we're going for, they go over the top. We're gonna put this in there. We're gonna put onions. We're gonna put tomatoes. We're gonna put random shit in this. I feel like.
Yeah, I wish I mean, like I know I didn't want it because every time I get it, I just pick out the cheese pieces in it and then maybe a couple noodles and then I throw the rest away. So that's my first round pick. Maddie, you get 2 here.
I feel you though.
I'm gonna go with pork chops as the meat because like I don't mind pork chops, especially good pork chops. But like, who gets excited about like, hey, we're having pork chops on the grill? You know what I mean? Like,
they're so thin.
Like they're fine. Like I'm never gonna fucking kick a pork chop out of bed.
Pick. Maddie,
but like,
a great pick.
It's not like who gets jacked about pork chops on the grill. You know what I mean? Like,
one.
You go to a pork chop dinner, like that's one thing. Like you go to like someone makes like the fancy butterfly thick cuts, seasons them up, throw some bacon on there, fine, whatever. But like just a regular basic pork chop on the grill, it's like, get out of here with that. And then on the other turn here, I'm gonna go with a side as well, and it's like, especially being outside, if it's sitting outside for more than like 3 minutes, fucking coleslaw. Just get out of here,
Maddie. I fucking had that.
Yeah, Boomy took my number one.
Sucked.
I had pasta salad, then coleslaw. So that was
no coleslaw. Fucking
coleslaw stinks. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, I only like coleslaw on top of like a pulled pork sandwich. Outside of that, if it's by itself, I'm not eating it. There's no chance. It's disgusting.
Am I next?
No, I'm next. You guys are probably going to hate this pick, and I'll explain why. I'm going to go with my meat choice, and I'm going to go with steak. And that is because when you go to a cookout, rarely do you ever have the proper plate, cutlery, and the guy cooking it probably isn't going to do it right. So you're just going to eat a well-done piece on a paper plate.
I can accept your argument. Your arguments are very valid.
If I want steak, I will make it, and then we'll eat in the house on regular plates with knives, and not at a cookout. No steaks at cookouts.
Yeah,
that's fair. That's a good idea. So I have 2, right?
Yes.
All right. First, I'm gonna go drink. IPAs. Fuck IPAs. IPAs fucking suck.
Raccoon taste.
I don't want to drink your hard lager, bro. Not
a good cook. I'll give you that. Not outside.
Fuck. Meat. I'm not good at the fucking meat because I'm so confused.
Yeah, the meat one's kind of hard because there's not a ton of meats that I would turn down.
Hot dog?
Zach, please clip Boomy's last sentence, please.
No, let's not do that.
Would like a hot dog be like the least valuable?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And hot dogs, like,
I don't know, man. I think I like hot dogs and cookouts. I'm just
I love hot dogs.
Too.
I fucking absolutely love hot dogs. I don't know. I accident out meat. I'm out. I'll take it now. L.
All right. Well, you still have.
Well, I'm saying meat though. Like I don't know what meat I don't want.
Yeah. Back to, we can come back. You're the only one. Matt, have you taken a meat yet?
Yeah, I took pork chops.
So Zach, we can even come back because me and Matt can't take meats. If you want to just save it, you can have 2 on the next one. Start Googling meat that you don't like.
Is this behind the scenes? Or are we going real here?
Be careful. Might want to go into private mode for that.
Wait.
I'm gonna go drink as well, and I'm gonna go with I guess I'll just label it like a jungle juice type of thing, where they're just throwing stuff in a random vat. I don't know, that the mystery one, especially if it's an away game, a cookout not at my house. I don't know the level of alcohol in there. I got to be a little careful, I'll go with the jungle juice or the
nerd.
Yeah, I agree. It's a nerd take, but
nerd.
I'm gonna go also on a beverage here, and it's gonna be I just don't want fucking soda when it's hot out. I don't want like super sugary syrup. Like it's just not refreshing. Like I feel like I'm more willing to to want a pop in the winter, as weird as that sounds.
Yeah.
And then for yard game, I'm gonna go with croquet. Get out of here with croquet. I think croquet stinks.
Yeah. Who plays croquet?
Dumb?
Yeah, croquet stinks.
Dude, croquet is awesome, man.
No, get out of here.
Stinks.
Get out of here.
You guys are fucking wild.
Zach's a high-class guy playing croquet in the yard.
Do I get to pick?
No, it's my turn again. We've only been doing the old snake draft wraparound for a year.
Lost in the snake, as I would say.
Hey, let's go Kingfish.
I'm going to go with Louisville Chugger for my game. I've had some bad memories with that.
That game's the worst.
There's no reason people could play that.
Your parties sound awesome. I'm going to say that.
We got bags. We've got hamburgers. We've got potato salad. We don't have any mystery coolers full of liquor that no one knows about. Yeah, they're great.
I don't have a meat that I don't like. I'm trying to work on a meat that I don't like, but I love all meats.
Clip it.
And then the side, I would not like. Oh fuck! I don't like coleslaw. I know you already took up a coleslaw.
You don't need to take my coleslaw pick.
I'm taking coleslaw. I'm taking coleslaw too. Coleslaw fucking sucks.
It does.
Coleslaw is impeccable preparation here.
It's worth.
I will literally eat all other sides other than coleslaw.
It's worth a dual pick. It sucks so bad.
I mean, it's like runny. It's gross. Like, what's in coleslaw?
Mayonnaise and cabbage.
Like carrot strings usually.
Ugh.
Fucking gross.
Well, let us know between me and Matt who won. Zach's been disqualified since he stole picks and he couldn't pick a meat. So let us know between me and Matt who won the not top 4 cookout menu draft. Zach's going to have to go back to the drawing board and work on his strategy for the next one. But that was episode 140 of Typical Chicago Fans. Thank you to our sponsor, Connect Roasters Coffee. Make sure you check out connectroasters.com. Follow them on Twitter at Connect Roasters. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at typical_Chicago is the main page. My Twitter is at BoomyTCF. Zach is at ZLiliaTCF. And of course, Maddie at schools_01. You can find us on all other social medias. Give those pages a like. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Wherever you get your podcast, we are there as well. So thank you for joining us. That was episode 140 of Typical Chicago Fans. We love you all.
Peace.